Hello, team, and welcome to episode 12. It takes a community. Today, we will be seeing how to actively build your vocab with the IARA method, patent pending. And if you are watching this video, you are actively improving your English. And that means that you are investing your time, probably your money, and definitely your energy. So let's get the best return on your investment possible. And there is no way to improve in a language without improving your vocabulary. And sometimes we do it passively. I was at a birthday party this weekend on Saturday, and somebody said Muquirana. I was like, what are they talking about? And then they said pão duro, hard bread. I was like, I know that one. All right, that one I know. And what did I do? I made a connection. I made an association. And that is the secret to building vocabulary. Well, it's actually the A in the IARA method. But it's not just in our second language. In our first language, I learned some new ones last week. Co-rumination. When people are remembering bad moments together. That's what the co is for. And it's not very healthy. To commodify, to turn something, to monetize it would be a good synonym. But they commodify something that wasn't making money. They're trying to make money out of it. They are commodifying it. So, I'm an English teacher. I work with this, and I'm still trying to build my vocabulary. And we will see some options of how to do this. We're going to try to make it as fun as possible. And I will also discuss the book that I finished reading. It was all right. It wasn't the best book I've ever read. It's very dense for a small book, and I think it could have been a YouTube video. But I will bring the 3 most interesting points that, at least that I saw. So let's go. Number 1, Wordle. Team, if you're one of my students, I have probably recommended this, and I think it is an easy way to gamify your English practice. You have 6 guesses to find a 5-letter word. I like to start with ones with a lot of vowels. Horse. No. All right, it was a good one. Let's see. Nurse. All right, let's get some other words in there. Let me see. Paint. Let's find some new letters. Yeah, no. All right. Let me see. Well, I've used all the vowels, so there's probably going to be another E in there. Worse, durse, first, gurse, slurse, verse. There we go. So in this case, they were all green, but if it was yellow, that would have mean it was the right letter in the wrong place. The green means the right letter in the right place. And team, if you're doing this to build your vocabulary, feel free to cheat. This is a site that can help you with this game. You put the letters that you found. Remember, your goal is to build your vocabulary. You are not competing for money. So it is okay if you want to get a little help. Okay? Let me answer one of these questions. Let me see. What is the last word or expression you remember learning? I just told you. Muquirana, I found out that there is actually a TV show, kind of depressing, but it was recommended to me. I don't think I will watch it from what I heard. And what is a community you are part of? I am part of the gym community. I like going to the gym. So for whatever gym I go to, I usually make some friends. What is something common about everyone at the gym? They're looking to improve themselves, I guess, because going to the gym is harder than watching Netflix. So I'll go with that. Next up, the IARA method. And why did I say IARA? Just because it is an acronym. And starting with number 1, identify. You're watching a series, you're watching a movie, a video, you're reading something, you're in a conversation, and maybe you miss one word, but you understood enough to keep going. You don't need to stop to find every word. But sometimes you'll see a word, an expression, something they're like, ooh, I want that. Ooh, that's cool. Oh, I didn't know that. Ooh, they're using that different. And if that happens, it's a good sign that you should be including this into your vocabulary. And I would say that most of my students stop here. Whatever. So number one, identify a word that you want to learn. Number two, make an association. If I say tall, maybe you say, oh, tall is the opposite of short. Maybe you think of the tall building that's outside. Maybe, João's tall. Maybe you associate it with that. But find a way to categorize it. There's a quick little video about this, but our brain likes categories. It simplifies things for us. So find a way to associate it with what you know, because translation and memorization, they're very weak connections. So find something that works. Number three, register. Me, I usually write something on the board, and then once a week, once every 2 weeks, I'll organize everything. I have some students who they use one of these pens and they write on the mirror. There are a couple, so they can see each other's words and questions. Some people prefer Post-its. Not permanent, but it's a cool option if you want the house to study together. One option that a student mentioned, which I really liked, was you create a WhatsApp group. You pin it to the top, because every time you go into WhatsApp, you will see that word again. And if you use a separate app, it might be an amazing app, but you need to choose to go into the app to study. With WhatsApp, you already know you're going to keep going into WhatsApp. So it's almost like you're studying for free. And I really liked his recommendation. So that is my top method at the moment. Create a WhatsApp group, pin it to the top, and you will see the last word every time you go into WhatsApp. Part 4, apply. If you're one of my students, use it in class. If you use it correctly, this will be my reaction. Because I won't even notice that you include the word and you've passed your test. But if you say something like this, sometimes I use words I don't fully understand because it makes me look more photosynthesis, and I go kind of like, what? It's a sign you might not be using it right. And the bonus point, if you use it incorrectly, you will remember it, and you will remember how to use it correctly the next time. What I don't recommend is testing this out in an important situation. You don't want your first use of the word to be in a meeting or in a job interview. And you might do one of these photosyntheses, and it will make you feel very velociraptor. So let me see. Our book review, Community by Zygmunt Bauman. And I guess I picked a book kind of in the middle of his career. I had never heard of him. I had heard of his liquid modernity theory. I did not attribute it to him. I did not know about him, but he was a Polish philosopher. And the 3 main points that I saw from his book, number 1, the community paradox. Freedom! We love it. But humans, since we've existed, we've lived in communities. And to be a part of a community, you need to give up some freedom. And with so many messages, so many options that we're receiving in this interconnected world, it's it is usually difficult to give up some of your freedom. And because of this, we're not committing to communities the way that maybe our grandparents did. So your first discussing point, what is the relationship between personal freedom and security? Because there is a certain security to being part of a community, but you need to follow the rules. Number 2, trading reach for disengagement. I don't know where you're listening to this from, but I can talk to you. I'm talking to this camera. You're watching it from your house. And even 20 years ago, this would have been difficult. So our reach is universal. It's the whole world. But are they real connections? Are they the same strength as somebody that you can touch? And I think we are trading our reach for disengagement in the real world. I see teenagers suffering with anxiety And what is anxiety? It's because you're not living in the real world. If I get nervous and so I don't want to talk to somebody, I'll go on my phone. So they are not having these real life experiences. And even adults, I'm sure at some point during the week, I went on my phone, checked my email, so I didn't have to talk to somebody. So we are disengaging from the real world and going into the Black Mirror world, I guess. So is technology helping us build community like us, or is it contributing to disengagement? Tell me what you think. And point number 3, liquid community. So follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow. I bet you have unfollowed someone or something this year. Maybe you started doing beach tennis and then you thought it was stupid and you went to CrossFit, and then CrossFit, and I just started running. And then instead of running, I'm going to do water polo. Now, I'm going back to the gym. And we have so many options that kind of flow from one thing into the next. And real community is not something we find or buy. It's something we commit to. It's messy. It's like a family. Sometimes you want to throw somebody out the window, but they're your family, your friends. When was the last time you unfollowed somebody to their face? You pressed their nose and said, no more of you. It's difficult, and it's not real to do this like we can online. So I think we have lost a little bit of our commitment to, or our little of our ability to commit, I guess would be the better way to put this. So my final question, the hard one, the hot potato, what does it take to build a lasting community today? I don't know. And are we willing to do the hard work? I think my best example is probably, my kids. And you see a lot of people, they I guess marriage used to be something for your life. And then at some point, I guess it became something temporary for many people. But when you have kids, kids are forever, or hopefully, you're going to have your kids for as long as you exist, and you can't give them up. So I think that was my biggest sense of community today. It was the me with them, but I'm sure we have different options. I've committed to the gym stuff, and I don't plan on giving up, even though there are days that I really don't. But that's my last point from the book. It was okay. I don't know if I would recommend it unless you really like this sociology, philosophy style book. I've read better ones. And our talking point is about this community. One of the best series ever. 6 seasons in a movie. Sony, where's our movie? So if you want a series to watch, I highly recommend that one. Better than the book. And our expression of the week. It takes a village to raise a child. We usually abbreviate it to it takes a village. And what does it mean? We need many perspectives, many people involved to really do something well. And here are some points for you to discuss. And last up, my favorite, Boggle. Boggle was a game that I remember playing in school. It was in The Last of Us, the physical Boggle. You can watch this scene right here. But we also have an online version. And I thought this was really cool. So when you log on, you can play a practice version by yourself. See multiplayer, there's somebody there. Somebody in the game. Somebody from which country? From, I think that's the Czech Republic. I might be saying something dumb, but I think that's the Czech Republic. Philippines? I'm not sure. But you can play with other people. And you can do different sizes, 5, 4, 3. The one that I played was usually this one. You need to find words that are 4 letters or greater. Bigger words are worth more points. And you need to make words that are connecting. You can go horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. You can't repeat letters. But for example, snot, it's an easy one. It's right there. But I could also say snore, S-N-O, then R-E. And you need to make as many words as possible. Why do I think it's cool? At the end, you can see the meaning of the different words. Even the words that you didn't find, they list them so that you can see them. I think it's an amazing way to gamify your vocab building. And why do I like the gamify? Best way is always the fun way. And if you can make it even 10% more fun, there's a better chance that you will continue. So team, that's it. Thank you, and I hope to see you in class. Have a good one.